I'd like to give a big shout out to the Hoodoo Gurus, who have given us permission to use part of their song, That's My Team, as our new podcast episode intro for all of their music. And whenever they are going live or performing live, head to their Facebook and their Instagram. The links will be in the description below. Be sure to give them a like and a follow as well on Facebook and Instagram. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast. I'm CJ and I'm joined by one of the, honestly, workhorses of the NRL, in my opinion. His name's David Gower. Thanks very much for joining me here today, mate.
Thanks, CJ. Thanks for the wrap, mate. Happy to be here.
No worries. So, I mean, let's get started. You actually got your debut for professional rugby league for Salford over in the Super League before you started in the NRL. What was it like starting over there and playing in the Super League?
Yeah, that's right. I did. It was it's been a different journey for me throughout my whole career. I sort of came out of Jersey Flegg and started playing reserve grade at the West Magpies at the time, who were feeding into the West Tigers. And my dad's British, so I grabbed my manager told me to grab a British passport just in case anything popped up. And then halfway through I think it was the 2006 season, an opportunity came up to go and play for Salford. And I sort of received that phone call from a manager on a Wednesday and I was flying out on the Sunday. So it was a bit of a whirlwind. Yeah.
Was it to go over for a trial or like you'd signed for them at that point, you know?
No, I'd signed an 18-month contract, so for a season and a half I signed. And, I'd never left the country before. Mum used to do my cooking, cleaning, washing, everything, and all of a sudden I landed in the UK and had to fend for myself.
And what was that like? Not just having to fend for yourself, but having to fend for yourself in a whole other country, let alone just moving out of home, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I hadn't cooked too many dishes, to be honest, in my time before leaving home. But no, I was lucky. When I went to Salford, there was a really good crew of like mature Australian boys.
Yep.
So there was a guy by the name of Sean Rutchison who took me under his wing. He lived just across the quays in Salford there from me, and Kevin McGuinness was there as well.
Yep. We
had Aaron Moore. We had John Wilshire.
Wow.
A couple of old names. None of if you got the young people listening will have a clue who they are.
I know exactly
good people.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic guys and really took me under their wing and made me feel extremely welcome. And, so did everyone at the Salford City Reds organisation when I was there. I look back on my time very fondly, the 18 months I spent there. And, it was a good fun, mate. I grew up, to be honest, over there. I was a kid when I left and I came back able to fend for myself.
Wow. Yeah, well, yeah, as you said, you were able to cook, you're able to do literally everything, which is honestly really good. And you came back over, I think either 08, 09, and you played for the Tigers, played one game for them, and you also got NSW Cup Player of the Year. What was that like, receiving that award?
Yeah, it was good. I was a pretty solid reserve grader, always had been, and I was, frustrated at times at the Tigers there because I was, consistently one of our best, if not our best, every week for 2 years. And it gets a little bit frustrating, but, as I've progressed through my career, I sort of understand the nature of the beast a little bit more now. But, at the time you don't when you're in it and you're out playing guys that are dropping back from first grade that are getting opportunities and things like that. It does get very frustrating. And, I was a Balmain Tigers junior, so I was very grateful to have made my NRL debut at the West Tigers, even if it was a little bit tokenistic. It was sort of round 26 in the 09 season, so a lot of people don't play any games, so I was very happy to take it how it came. And I was actually at work when Tim Sheens rang me and said I needed to come to training the following day. I was an electrician at the time, and
oh wow,
I just said, oh yeah, sweet, no worries, mate, I'll come and run around with the boys. And I found out that I think Chris Hynington was ruled out that game, and I think whoever told me, I'd come around, if it was Heino or someone, or it might have been Tim Sheens himself, said, hey mate, you're playing this week. So I was pretty pumped.
What did your family say when you told them that you were getting, your first grade NRL debut?
Yeah, they were excited. They had seen sort of, that I was consistently a really good reserve grader and I'd been fighting pretty hard, through work and playing semi-professionally to make that dream come true, So to get one game I was very grateful for, and to do it at my junior club was something that was special. And, I wish there was more and there probably should have been many more there, but that wasn't to be at the time for whatever reasons, yeah.
Now that's fair enough. And well, you went from playing one to now playing well over 100 because you got your 100th game under your belt this year and it was with the Parramatta Eels. Um, I think, or it may have been you got your 100. No, it was your 100th game for the Eels. Sorry, this year. But you got your 100th game. I think it was last year in total. First of all, congratulations on such an amazing feat, and also 100 games for a club in general. What's it like at the Eels for you personally, getting, for lack of a better term, you could say a restart potential chance, after going from Tigers to Dragons to Manly, and then the Eels call you up the year after, unfortunately, Manly lost the grand final, and, giving you a new lease on life in the contract?
Yeah, that's right. I played, I think my 100th was in 2018 I played,
Yep.
which was it was something that I always wanted to achieve. For me, that was probably my career milestone that I was really chasing. That was something that meant a lot to me. And
Yeah.
and then to have played 100 games for the Eels is something that I'm very, very, very happy to have done and very privileged to have been able to do. And not many people get to do it at the one club. So, to be able to do it at a club that, really gave me my chance to become a seasoned first grader is something that I'll be forever grateful for and indebted to the club for. But, I was lucky enough during the 2013 season that Brad Arthur had come across as the assistant coach at Manly at the time. And I think I played, 14 games, but 2 of them I didn't get on. So technically I played 12 games that year. And, Brad had sort of seen enough and had indicated that if he was to get a top coaching gig anywhere, and he said he was in the hunt for a few at the time. He said, I'll bring you across, obviously, if there's enough room in the cap that would allow it. And lucky for me, I was pretty heavy down negotiations to go and play for Wakefield Trinity at the time in the UK.
Oh, wow.
That's one of them sort of marquee type signings. So, I was really far down that. I was probably within a week of committing to I think it was a 2-year deal at the time, and Brad rang, and I was pretty happy, to be honest. I just had my first daughter and I didn't really want to leave Australia just yet. So, and then, from there I signed a 1-year deal, got extended for 2 more and then extended again, and, just little 1-year deals consistently after that. But, I really found my feet at the club, and I really love the organisation.
That's awesome. And speaking of 1-year deals, you announced your retirement last year in 2019, but more or less, for lack of a better term, overturned that and signed a 1-year deal with the Eels. What was the deciding factor for you to overturn the retirement decision?
Well, whoever printed it, I didn't actually retire. I hadn't announced anything.
Okay, fair. Cool.
So I think, that's right. So I didn't overturn anything. Someone jumped my gun and was trying to retire me before I was ready.
Mate.
So, no, I think because part of my deal over the last couple of years has been a roll-off field as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I don't know if it was someone at my club or someone had just assumed that I was hanging them up. Oh. But there was still a bit of fight left in this old dog. So as long as I felt like I was contributing and the Eels wanted me to stay around, I was always more than happy to play on. And, I still felt like I had a little bit to offer. So, so I was very happy to have got the 1 year. And obviously this year has been a little bit frustrating with COVID and things like that. But,
I can imagine.
We're going great and it's just really good to be part of a strong squad.
Honestly, that's awesome. That's so awesome to hear. We've actually got a few questions from some diehard Eels fans, so I'll let them take it over. The first one is from Marcus. He's one of my mates. He's actually, an Eels tragic, so take it away, Marcus. 1 second.
Ask, how's the team's vibe after the big loss to the Rabbitohs? And I know Brad keeps saying that defence is your main focus at training, and just wanted to see if the boys' confidence is still there and if they're ready to fire back this week against the Warriors.
Yeah, it's a good question. We've had a couple of days off actually to refresh. So we actually go back into training tomorrow. So the boys that played on the weekend, they did video on Friday morning as a group. And, I think there was some pretty honest conversations around, sort of what went wrong structurally, system-wise and things like that. And it's just about us accepting that performance was well below expectation and well below par. That's individually and as a collective playing group. And, we've got a strong roster. We've got a strong squad. So I would assume that, if we turn in too many more performances like that, there's going to be changes in the 17. And, we're lucky enough that, we do go quite deep at our club, and the boys are aware of that. So, you know, I have no doubt that when you get humbled like that so publicly, and there's a lot of people sort of lining up to have a bit of a shot at us at the moment, and whether that's right or wrong, it's just the nature of being Parramatta and being one of the more popular clubs in the NRL support-wise and, you know, on TV when it's sort of broadcast-wise. So it just comes part and parcel with it. We either use it as motivation or we black it out and just, you know, use our own individual goals and group goals as motivation, which I think we'll do. And I think everyone's going to bounce into training on Monday and really look forward to the Warriors, who are playing really well. And, you know, to their credit, they're away from home and they've had faced a lot of adversity this year. And
that's an understatement.
You know, Todd Payton, I knew him from my time at the Tigers, seemed to have brought them together fantastically. So, you know, they're no pushover. They're going to be a quality side and they're playing well and they're confident. So we've got our work cut out for us.
No, for sure. Thank you, Marcus, for that question. Our next two questions come from a Parramatta Eels fan page admin. Again, he's a die-hard fan. His name's Adam, and he asks the following questions.
G'day Dave, my name is Adam. I run a large Eels group on social media. Firstly, I'd just like to say that you're extremely popular with our fan group due to your professionalism and work ethic, both on and off the field. We appreciate that. I'd like to ask you, you were a very late bloomer. You didn't really play regular first grade until 28 years of age. Now, you're 35 and you've racked up well over 100 first grade games, which is an amazing achievement. I'd like to ask, what kept you motivated to persevere and never give up about playing regular NRL? And secondly, what advice would you give to players who are still in that age bracket you were back then, still looking to make a breakthrough? Cheers, Dave. Thank you.
Good couple of questions, and, you know, straight off the bat, you know, I really appreciate, you know, that you and your fan group, you know, sort of appreciate what I do and the hard work that I try to do consistently when I play. When I get lucky enough to pull the jersey on, I pride myself on work ethic. You know, I was never the most talented player, but yeah, thanks, mate. I'm not the strongest, fastest, or fittest, and I definitely don't have the best hair, but I definitely pride myself on.
That was good.
That's right. You're laughing too hard at that one. I pride myself on the work I do on the field, and, you know, just sort of I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very passionate about playing for Parramatta, and I'm very blessed to pull the jersey on when I do, and I'm glad that you see that and that comes across to you watching, you know, on TV or live or whatever it is. And, you know, in answer to your first question about being a late bloomer, what sort of kept me motivated, it was I just loved rugby league. I loved playing. I loved the lifestyle. I'm ambitious by nature. You know, I wanted to play 100 games once I played that first. And, you know, my work ethic, my commitment, my resilience and my perseverance were never going to let me stop for anything less. I always knew I had the ability to be successful. And, you know, I've just actually been speaking to Andrew Davey just prior to him making his debut. And I've said it to a lot of guys throughout my time there, but, you know, got a really good relationship with AD at the moment. And I said to him, the difference between a first grader and a good reserve grader is opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that's all it is. And I think, you know, Andrew's proven that. And I was the same. I was very similar to him. I guess that's, you know, I see a lot of myself in AD, and that's not good for him because he's losing his hair too. But no, so that's, you know, that's something that I did. You know, just opportunity. You just wait and know that when it comes, that it's what you want. And I think AD's worked that out as well. And I think your second question was around.
It was about.
What was it? Do you remember, CJ?
Yeah, it was about what advice do you give to players who are in a similar position, such as Andrew Davey, because he's in a similar, getting his regular start like you were getting regular starts around a late blooming age, around 28.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's another good question too. I think, you know, when you're sort of a little bit more seasoned, as they say, and you're a little bit longer in the tooth, it gets tough to compete with you know, young guys that are on the fast track. But, you know, I think you've really just got to be, you know, quite meticulous in what you do, and you've got to be consistently good at training. You can't be inconsistent on the training field, because if you're inconsistent on the training field, that's the first place coaches look. And if you're inconsistent there, they're never going to give you an opportunity to play first grade. And you've got to be hungry. You've got to be resilient. You've got to always show that desire. If you're not willing to sacrifice, you're never going to make it. And there's a quote I use sometimes when I speak to young kids about it, and it's, if you're not willing to pay the price of sacrifice, you're not allowed to complain about the pain of disappointment.
Wow.
So, it's something that stood out a long time ago to me, and it's something that I've tried to, really sort of work into my career. I mean, I don't want anyone else out. If you think you're good enough and you show consistently that you are good enough, you'll get your opportunity. But, there's that other old saying that if you point one finger at someone else, there's four pointing straight back at you. So, look in the mirror first, look inward first, assess your weaknesses and be honest with yourself. Work out what it is you need to do to be successful. And, if that's asking the coach all the time, mate, what do I need to do to be a first grader? And I think, that's actually something I did at Manly with BA. I said one of my very first meetings with Jeff Tuvey as well, and I think it was Dave Penner at the time. I said, I'm sick of being a reserve grader. I think I'm good enough to be an NRL player. Tell me what I need to do.
Wow.
And it's just being happy and confident and comfortable to have those open and honest conversations.
Yep. And
don't be shy in saying what it is you want. If you're not going to say it out loud, you're never going to get it.
Wow. Again, that rings true for everything. Wow. Good questions from Adam and Marcus. We've got one last question from Parramatta Diehard, and then we'll get back into some more topics. And it's from Phil Bride, and this is his question for you.
Hey David, it's been great having you as part of our NRL Parramatta Eels team. Just wondering what your future plans are once you do hang up the boots. We're hoping to see you back on the field ASAP. We need your steadying influence on the field. So just wondering what your plans will be after you do eventually hang up the boots in the next couple of years. So that'd be great if you could answer that. Hope to see you on the field helping our boys finish off the season strong. Thanks, David. Thanks for your service so far for the Parramatta.
Yeah, nice. Good question again. Thank you. I hope to be back in the 17 sooner rather than later too, to be honest.
Yep.
But that's not my decision. But if I am called upon, I'm ready, willing and able to contribute in the way that I usually do. And as far as post-retirement career, that will most likely be in the well-being aspect of the business.
Yep.
I've been doing a lot of that anyway, naturally over the last 2 years with our elite juniors. So I'm actually currently elite New South Wales Rugby League Elite Pathways Wellbeing Manager for the club.
Oh, wow.
As well as playing. So I think, I'm hoping to stay involved in the organisation, and my understanding at the moment is that Parramatta are more than happy to accommodate that. So, when that is, I'm not sure yet. We will see. However, I'm really hopeful, and I believe the club are too, that I will stay around and work in an off-field capacity and try to give back, I suppose, as much as I can, and help the young kids coming through and make sure that they're doing all right off the field and with their own well-being, because the better someone is off the field, the better rounded they are as an individual.
Yep.
The offside of that is that you're a better athlete. So,
no, that's very true. I've got to say thank you very much to Phil, Marcus, and Adam for your questions. Anyone who's listening to this episode, if you want to submit questions for our next guest, let us know. Send it to the messages of our Facebook page, and we'll get that sorted for you guys. Now, back into some sporting topics about your career, etc. What team for you personally is the most physically demanding you find to go up against?
It's a good question. The toughest physically to play? It changes often year to year. The Bulldogs always drag us. It might sound strange because I haven't sort of been as successful on the field, but they're a tough, physical, gritty side.
Mm-hmm.
Playing against the Roosters, obviously, just because they're so well drilled and professional, is difficult.
For sure.
their forward packs, it's almost an international forward pack as well. So they're tough. Melbourne, obviously, they're just robots. They're so well drilled as well that 1 to 17, you know what you're going to get. I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Like I always sort of try to worry about my own game and bring my strengths as opposed to worrying about who I'm up against. So,
yeah, no, that's fair.
I kind of always try to back myself anyway.
Yep.
So whether that's a bit of footwork, an offloader, or a tip on, it's just doing the best with what I have.
No, that's fair. As I say, don't dwell too much and don't play the game over 1,000 times in your head before the game's on. Got a few fun topics, we could say. So what's your current beer of choice at the moment?
Well, I've been into the Great Northerns for a while now, and I just find them really crisp, really nice. I love settling down into an afternoon beer. Great Northern, you can sort of drink them all night without, getting too pissy.
Yep.
But and I find them really crisp and enjoyable on, especially spring, summer days in a beer garden.
It'd go down so well.
Yeah, and I've been working hard outside on the house, so it would have been nice. But I'm training tomorrow, so I haven't.
No, that's fair. How do you like your steak cooked?
Oh, medium rare has to be.
Yeah, 100%. Do you like any certain sauce with it, or just as long as it's medium rare?
No, well-seasoned steak should never have sauce.
Yes, agreed.
I always get into an argument with my wife. She always cooks pepper sauce. But I season a bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, cooked over charcoal. Beautiful. Why would you ruin it with sauce?
Oh, agreed, mate. That sounds so good. What current show or movie series are you binging on Netflix at the moment?
Yeah, I just finished Schitt's Creek on Netflix last night.
So good.
Really, really good. Me and my wife really enjoyed it. It's really funny. Dry-witted humour. It was excellent. I really liked it.
Honestly, that's where it's at. I guess that's really it. Actually, sorry, I got one question on behalf of one of our sponsors, SkyeSpark Electrical. They ask, what advice would you give to your younger self to go through life and the NRL in general, knowing what you know now?
Going through life, I would have started a index share account earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a really big jump start on that, a decade-long jump start on that. I would have bought that house and land package in the Ponds back in 2006. I would just, obviously, with my money, I would have thought more strategically and long-term.
Yep.
But, I've been able to recoup a bit of that back now, so that's not too much of an issue. And as far as footy goes, I just had to wait until I physically matured. While I was working and training, working 8 to 10 hours a day and training, I was never able to put weight on.
Wow.
So, physically, I just, as much as I probably would want to have matured earlier, it just wasn't in my genetic makeup, thanks to my mum and dad, unfortunately. So, I feel like I've sort of, gone through my career in a way that I'm very proud of. And, probably that's about it, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Thank you very much for joining me and giving your time for the podcast. I'll get you on again at the end of the season for an Eels recap of the season and how you thought the boys did, how you personally think you did. And yeah, when the episode's up, I'll send you the links.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, mate.
No worries. One quick question though. I've stopped recording though.